Welcome to Thyroid and Autoimmune Revival. I'm Naomi Suzanne from Naomi's Home Health, and I'm a holistic health coach that specializes in thyroid and autoimmune healing using natural health solutions. So today, episode 24, we are going to discuss heavy metal toxicity. Now, I always say this every week, but this is a really, really big topic. This is huge because it's very rarely addressed. I see a lot of clients who have been to dietitians and they've had a lot of elimination diets. They're going to naturopaths, they're going to all sorts of practitioners, and they're getting supplements and diets. Now, if you are not addressing your heavy metal toxicity, then all of those things aren't going to matter. When you remove a food, you're just removing a trigger. You're not actually addressing the root cause of your problems. And if you have a thyroid or autoimmune disease or a lot of the things that I'm going to go through in this episode, then you have heavy metal toxicity. You have it in your body. It has a major impact on health, and we don't even consider these metals in our body at all when we're healing. So toxic heavy metals are everywhere. They're present in so many things that we come into contact with daily. So a heavy metal detox is essential. And it's not something that we just do once or for a week or for a couple of weeks. This is something that we need to add into our routine for a lifetime because, like I said, we take these toxins on daily through our whole life. So toxic heavy metals are in aluminium cans, aluminium foil, batteries, air pollution, tap water, metal cookware, paint, cleaning products, beauty products, pharmaceuticals, vaccines, high in vaccines, and they get injected straight into our bloodstream that way. And just to think about it, when I was a kid, we had a couple of vaccines. Now kids are getting loads, like up to 60 vaccines. So think about how much heavy metal these kids are having in their body. Herbicides and pesticides. So all of our food is contaminated, even organic foods. It's hard to get away from. Pest sprays like insecticides, laundry products, perfumes, deodorants. You cannot escape toxic heavy metals. And unfortunately, these metals get stuck in our body for long periods of time. Most have been with us our whole lives. As they've burrowed deep inside our tissues and our organs, we enter the world with toxic heavy metals into our body because it's already inside our liver because we inherit it from our parents, our grandparents, down the lines. So this is not genetic. Inheritance is different to genetic, okay? So we inherit it from our parents. It's a passing down of poisons and pathogens from the father, from conception, and through the mother as the baby develops. So the developing baby's liver can take on heavy metals from the mum's liver. So these old metals in our body over time oxidize, causing damage to the surrounding tissues and causing inflammation. So if you have a lot of inflammation in your body, sometimes we have an injury and we can't get rid of that injury, or we can't get rid of the pain from that injury. Like the injury might be sort of healed. It's not going to heal if you have a lot of stuff going on in your body because your body's got to work hard to do other things. So it takes away from the healing power of healing your injury. So when you have a lot of inflammation in your body, a lot of pain, it could be toxic heavy metals causing some of that as well. So there's a lot of reason behind a lot of different things in our body, but heavy metals is huge. So they literally poison our bodies. They cause damage to every system in our body, including the brain, the liver, the digestive system, the nervous system, the lymphatic system. It puts a massive burden on our immune system. So if you are struggling to, recover from colds and flus, it's because you have a lot of toxic heavy metals in your body. So for me, if I feel like a cold or flu coming on, I go and, do certain things. Like I might have some honey and garlic, I might have essential oils, but I don't ever really come down with anything. If you have a lot of toxic heavy metals in your body, you're not going to be able to fight whatever you've taken on in your body. So toxic heavy metals are a form of a neurotoxin, which is a poison that disrupts the nerve function and confuses the immune system. So they can inflame and irritate our central nervous system. They go into our brain, causing many nasty symptoms. So heavy metals don't just float around in your bloodstream. If you're going to have a blood test for heavy metals, it's not floating around in your bloodstream. It's deep within your organs, your tissues. Like, you can't test for that. You'll find maybe some in your bloodstream, but if you are going to get a blood test and they say, well, you don't really have a lot of toxic heavy metals, that means nothing. So if you've got a lot of the symptoms that I'm going to mention, let's look at that instead of using a blood test for absolutely everything. So what are some of the things that you will notice if you do have a lot of toxic heavy metals in your body? You could have memory loss, brain fog, ADHD, fatigue, depression. It can promote inflammation in the digestive tract and releases poisons into our gut. They serve as a food source for viruses, bacteria, parasites, other pathogens. Toxic heavy metals can be a feeding ground for the strep virus, Epstein-Barr virus, strep A and B, Epstein-Barr virus, shingles. If you've had shingles and you can't get rid of it, you've got toxic heavy metals in your body. E. coli, H. pylori, which is Helicobacter. I know a lot of people with that. Yeast cells. This can create an overgrowth of multiple bacteria in the gut, resulting in SIBO, or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. So what happens when you go to a naturopath or a doctor or any sort of practitioner with SIBO? They eliminate foods. A lot of the time, those foods are going to help you remove the toxic heavy metals. We don't want to eliminate foods. We want to eliminate the toxic heavy metals. So eliminating foods that may trigger it, may make you feel bloated and things like that, is not going to help. You need to actually remove the toxic heavy metals. So endometriosis is another thing that we have, like a symptom of toxic heavy metals in our body. A lot of the poisons get trapped in the cells of our reproductive system, and our reproductive system then holds on to those so it doesn't poison, our ovaries and our cervix and all of those things. So this is why we get those lumps and things like in our reproductive system that causes endometriosis. It's our body protecting our organs, our reproductive organs, from toxic heavy metals. So if you have endometriosis that causes a lot of pain, a lot of period trauma and stuff like that, have a look at trying to get rid of toxins in your life and actually look at heavy metal detoxing. So other symptoms and signs can be bloating, abdominal pain, diarrhea, constipation, nutrient deficiencies, tingling, numbness. I had so many of these when I was unwell. It's like I had a lot of toxic heavy metal in my body. Fatigue, anxiety, heart palpitations. That was my biggest one I couldn't get rid of. Ringing in the ears, dizziness, vertigo, eczema, rosacea, psoriasis, all sorts of pain, back, knee, foot pain, can all come down to a lot of toxic heavy metals in our body, because, as I said, it oxidizes in the body and the tissues are hanging on to it. It's causing, if you've got toxic heavy metals in your organs, they're not going to function as they should, right? So it's important to try and manage this as best we can, as it's super hard to take on. We take on toxic heavy metals daily, sorry. This needs to be done regularly and not just once, as I said. So we should be eating a lot of the foods that are going to help our body eliminate the toxic heavy metals, but we should also be very mindful of the products that we're using. I only use products with natural ingredients. I read all the ingredients on everything. I don't use any makeup with toxins in it, like absolutely everything. It takes a while. For me, I do this with my clients. I don't say, radio, go and get rid of absolutely everything in your house and replace it with natural products. What I teach my clients is remove one, and it's usually deodorant or perfume. Start with that. They are the most toxic, and we spray them on our lymphatic system for the deodorant, on our thyroid for the perfume, and they have the most chemicals in them, and it goes into our skin. So everything that we put onto our skin goes through our bloodstream to be detoxed by the liver. So it will impact the liver and gut. Whatever we're putting on our skin, whatever we're inhaling in through our nose does the same thing. It has to be detoxed. So we have to be so mindful of absolutely everything that we are surrounded by, like even air freshness, all of those things. We have to be super mindful. Now, there are some things out there that say they will remove heavy metals, and lots of different products that you can purchase. Foot patches, for example, you will not draw heavy metals out of your organs with foot patches. You may get some impurities out of your bloodstream through these foot patches. I'm not saying they don't work, but they do not work with toxic heavy metals because they are corrosive to the tissue. They burrow inside and they are in our organs. Nothing that you put on your foot or your face or whatever, a patch is going to draw that out. You will draw impurities out, I'm sure, but not toxic heavy metals that are deep inside your organs. So reducing toxic products is something that you can do over a period of time. So it doesn't cost you a fortune. It's not overwhelming. I make a lot of my non-toxic products. I get, there's about 6 ingredients that I purchase, and they all cover certain products that I make. I have an ebook. It's called Non-Toxic DIY Recipes. If you go to my shop on naomishomehealth.com, you will see the ebook. It's like $20 and maybe $15, and you can purchase that and make your own products. It takes 2 minutes. Like my foaming hand soap, 2 minutes. Like the kids make it. My dishwashing powder or dishwashing tablets, 2 minutes. Like it takes less time for me to make it than to actually go to the shops and buy some of these things, and it saves me a fortune. I look at how much some of these chemical things are in the supermarket, and they are ridiculously expensive right now. So I save myself a fortune and I save my health by making my own products. So you're not only, looking after your health, you're looking after your wallet. So if you go onto naomishomehealth.com, go onto the shop and look at my ebooks and purchase that ebook. It's got lots of recipes in it, and you're not buying thousands of ingredients. It's the same few ingredients for all of the products. It's amazing. And they actually work really, really well. So my favorite thing to reduce heavy metals is a green blend that I found. Now, I've bought plenty of greens blends and whatever, or I've read ingredients on the backs of greens blends. Now, you have to have specific ingredients in the greens blends that are going to actually draw out toxic heavy metals. Not all greens will do it. This blend is from Vesuvio Healthy Living. The reason I love them so much is there's only a couple of ingredients. When you start to put too many ingredients into a bottle of whatever it is that you're selling, when you take a teaspoon or a tablespoon of that, you're not going to get much of each ingredient. You're going to get a minute amount, and it's not going to do a lot for you. When you only have a couple of ingredients, you're going to get more of each ingredient, right? This blend also doesn't have any synthetics. It's organic. It doesn't have any sweeteners and things like that most of them do. It just has the exact ingredients that all of them help remove toxic heavy metals. It's called Heavy Metal Detox Blend from Vesuvio. If you go onto my shop, onto the link in my bio, go onto shop, you'll get a discount if you use the link Vesuvio Healthy Living. They will give you a discount. But it is super easy. I put it in my smoothie every morning. I have blueberries, banana, cherries, bit of coconut water, and my greens blend in there. I don't use other blends. I've seen them all. I know what's in them. This is the best. And I never, ever recommend anything that I haven't used, that I haven't researched, that isn't organic, that, I only ever recommend things that I know that work really, really well. I'm very specific, very particular on what I use for these reasons, because I know everything counts towards your healing process. And when you're using things that could probably hinder your healing or that aren't going to get you what you need, just because something says it's a greens blend doesn't mean it's got the right ingredients, doesn't mean it's healthy, doesn't mean it's going to help you. So when I saw this come up online somewhere, I was just like, yes, these have the most perfect ingredients in them. So Spirulina is a fantastic ingredient. Now, the heavy metal detox blend has all of these ingredients in it that I'm about to list. Spirulina, it draws heavy metals from the brain, the central nervous system, and the liver. It is extremely nutrient dense. It is amazing if you have low iron. Your body absorbs it super, super well. So spirulina is something that I would encourage anybody to take. Make sure it's Hawaiian spirulina as well. Barley grass juice powder extract. Now, it draws out heavy metals out of the spleen, the intestinal tract, the pancreas, the thyroid, and the reproductive system. So if you have endometriosis, barley grass juice powder, it's different to barley grass powder. Barley grass juice powder is super important. Coriander or cilantro, depending where you are in the world, it goes deep into the hard places and it gets really, really old toxic heavy metals that are deep down in the body from years and years ago. It draws it out super well. So if you can add coriander, and I know a lot of people say they don't like it, but a lot of the time, if you don't like coriander, it is because you have a lot of toxic heavy metal in your body. So maybe start with some spirulina, maybe start with some barley grass juice powder, and then try some coriander down the track. Maybe try some parsley, but basil. They're not going to remove the toxic heavy metal as good as the coriander, but build up to it. Maybe start to use a tiny little bit and then add a little bit more. I used to hate it myself, but I eat it all the time now. I love it. Wild blueberries, they repair the body once the heavy metals have been extracted. So if there's like heavy metal in your tissue, in your organs, once it comes out, there's going to be like a gap or a space there where it was. So the wild blueberries will help repair where the toxic heavy metal had embedded itself into your body. They have a lot of phytonutrients in them as well that help with the oxidation in your body. So Atlantic dulse is a seaweed that binds to lead, copper, cadmium, nickel, and it is the most powerful one here because the most powerful seaweed because it helps also extract mercury. Now, as it comes from the sea, you might be concerned that it has its own mercury or toxic heavy metals in it, but Atlantic dulse doesn't release any heavy metals or mercury into the body. It hangs on to it. As it gathers other toxic heavy metals and mercury, it just hangs on to all of it. And once you eliminate it out of your body, it takes it out for you. So it's really important to add dulse, Atlantic dulse. So you can get it in like little sprinkles that you can add to your salads. You can pop it in your smoothie. You don't taste it. You can get little bits of it, but Atlantic dulse is more important than sea moss and all of those other things because of the way it actually gets rid of the toxic heavy metals for you. So if this is something that has, made you think about your health, made you realize, look, there's some things that I could do, everybody should be doing heavy metal detox, whether you have symptoms or not. I'm sure that you've probably got one of those symptoms on the list, particularly if, you're over 40 or something like that, because we take them on all the time. But start to think about how you can remove toxic heavy metals. A lot of these things, it's a feeding ground for oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is caused by free radical damage in the body, which comes from toxicity. So toxic heavy metals are going to cause a lot of oxidative stress in your body, which is like rust to the body. So when when you cut open an apple and you see it starting to go brown, that's it's oxidizing. So it's oxidative stress on the apple. That is what happens in our body when we have too much free radical damage. So heavy metals will do that to us, but we need to remove them out of our body. You can't do it just with a drink or, random things that you see on social media. It is important for those foods to be added into your diet. Sometimes we got to remove foods, but never remove fresh fruit and vegetables. Whole foods should not be removed. I never advocate for removing good quality fresh fruit and vegetables. If you can eat organic, that is the best thing you can do. As I said, you can't get rid of every bit of heavy metal in your life. It's really difficult, but you can make a start by reducing the toxins. You can make a start by adding a bit of spirulina to your smoothie, a bit of spirulina to your orange juice, fresh, orange juice, or the best orange juice you can get. Please don't use concentrate or anything like that. But I use my heavy metal detox blend from Vesuvio Healthy Living. My brother uses it because he works in the mining industry, and where he is, there is some toxic heavy metals. So he's been using that. I swear by it. A lot of my symptoms just started to reduce and go away. I don't have any of these symptoms anymore. My skin, I used to suffer badly with dermatitis. I couldn't wear any silver, and as you can see, I've got silver on here. Like I would never be able to wear that before. I had eczema when I was a baby, a lot of these things. So I had brain fog so badly, memory loss, so many things on this list, and I don't suffer with any of them anymore. I've done a lot of healing, but I know how to help you with your healing, and I don't want you to go through all these elimination diets and a multitude of supplements that you're shoving down your throat every day that is costing you $500 a month. Come and learn how to do this. You can do this just with some simple, basic lifestyle changes to help you. You know, heavy metal, if you've got thyroid or autoimmune disease, you have to do a heavy metal detox. The medication that you're probably taking for it probably has heavy metal in it. So it's really important to speak to somebody who knows all about these things. Go to the link in my bio to work with me. Message me on Facebook. I get those messages, you know, really easily. I see them straight as soon as they get sent because I'm on my computer throughout the day. So send me a message, ask me some questions. I'm open to helping you. This is a really important topic. Please share it with as many people as you can, because like I said, everyone takes on heavy metals daily, and we've taken them on our whole life, and it goes into our body. If you know people with, you know, low immunity, ADHD, a lot of these things, you are in need of a heavy metal detox, and it is a super important part of your healing process. If you haven't started doing it, if you haven't got a practitioner that will help you, I will work with you and get you the help that you need, because we will start to reduce your symptoms. I am 100% confident that I can help you reduce your symptoms and start to get you to feel better, get more energy, get better sleep, all of those things. And heavy metal detox is one part of that. So go to the link in my bio, and I will see you when I am working with you.